Hey everybody, this is a quick intro to Designer of the Week. If you have had class with me before, you're familiar with this activity, but if not, this is new to you. So we are going to be posting Designer of the Week through Basecamp this semester. So you only have to turn it in on Basecamp. You don't have to turn it in anywhere else. You'll just post it there, and I will be able to look at the post directly through Basecamp, and you will get credit. I will just upload the credit in Blackboard. So you're not uploading Designer of the Week to Blackboard. You'll be uploading it directly through Basecamp so we can all see it and share and collaborate. So Designer of the Week. Again, I'm using visual thinking as the example, but every one of my classes this semester has some sort of Design of the Week um, element. Now, these are not every week. This is just something, I call it Designer of the Week because it's the Designer of the Week whenever we're talking about it. So these are in your course schedule. You have these peppered out throughout the semester. And I'm going to go ahead and click on, so this will be found in your message board. So each Designer of the Week, so you'll have, if you have 3 in the semester, if you have 4, there'll be a message board for each of those. So make sure that you post it to the specific message board. All right. So this is the first one for visual thinking. Again, whatever class that you're in, you will have the same setup, but you will have a different category. So make sure that if you're in package design, you pay attention to what your category is. So just a really quick about Designer of the Week. This has been around for a few semesters, and instead of having you, research and write papers and do this and that on designers, I curated this a little bit more of an informal activity. I call it an informal research activity because it's designed to get you in the habit of looking for new talent and seeing what's out there in the design world. For example, I use Instagram and I follow creatives on Instagram. It's a great way to stay inspired. It's a great way to see what other designers are doing. And it's important that you guys learn to do that and learn to stay on top of trends early on in your design education. So, again, that's what Designer of the Week is made for. And this is part of your grade. This is part of goes into your class participation points. It's a small writing activity. I'm not grading the writing, I'm grading whether or not you do the activity and turn it in. It's a fairly easy grab for points. So whenever you have a Designer of the Week, you will have a category and a theme. And so if you're in the visual thinking class, your theme will be brand and identity designers. And I will have, regardless of what your theme is, there will always be a little description about who they are, what that position does. So maybe you're not 100% familiar with what a brand and identity designer is. This gives you some direction. And then how can I search for brand and identity designers? These are just a couple of my favorites: Behance, Design Inspiration, Pinterest, Dribbble. Instagram is perfect. They can come from Instagram. That's totally fine with me. If their Instagram links to a professional website, be sure that you post their portfolio site as well, because that's always super interesting to see. And you can do a Google search. Like if you want to Google Black female brand and identity designers, you could, that could help you narrow it down a little bit. Because if you just put brand identity designers in Google, it's going to be really overwhelming. So the more specific your search can be, the better. So the goal for Designer of the Week is that this should be someone that is alive and still working professionally. They can be national or international, and try to focus on. So, Designer of the Week is also meant to add to the things that we don't learn in textbooks, right? So, when we study design history, it's predominantly, in design history, Bauhaus, those movements. It was traditionally old white men. They might have been old, German white men, but they were still, the pool was pretty stagnant, wasn't super diverse until you get further on in design history. So You don't have to focus on bringing in diverse designers, but that's something that this activity is designed to do. So if you want to look for female designers, people of color, anyone who identifies as LGBTQ+, international designers, folks that often don't get as much recognition as other creatives, or maybe up-and-coming designers, maybe folks that have been in the game for like 5 years, but they're killing it, those newcomers too. There's a lot of oftentimes students will bring in designers working internationally, and it's a totally different aesthetic a lot of times than what we're used to seeing here in the United States. So anytime we can bring in different ways of working and different ideas and visuals, it's always great for you guys to be exposed to that. And so for each designer of the week, I will essentially have you type up a little paragraph and you'll post it down here in the discussion. So, roughly 3 to 5 sentences. You need to, don't do this right before you come to class, because when we talk about these in class, it will show. We will, on occasion, in our face-to-face meetings, we'll pick a couple of these to share with the class. Now, obviously, you'll have access to Basecamp. You can look and see what everybody else is posting, but we will also use this as a short discussion activity in class where we highlight a few of them, okay? So you'll tell us the name of the person or company, give us some brief background information, where they're working, history, education, whatever. Tell us a little bit about them and their professional background. What drew you to their work? Why did you pick them? What are your favorite projects they've done and why? And also, is this someone new that you've discovered or someone you've been following previously? Because a lot of times people will get really excited because maybe they've followed a brand and identity designer for like the last year and they're just dying to share them and talk about them. That's super awesome. Obviously makes it a little easier if you already have somebody in mind, but this is also meant to be a research activity too. So if you're new to this category, or maybe, for example, you really like a certain logo or a brand, start that way. Research, see if you can figure out who was responsible and who created that, and find that person and talk about them. It doesn't have to be someone you know or that you followed. Maybe it's someone new. It can be either or. Please make sure to note if they have notable clients and or projects. Some of these folks may have worked with nationally or internationally known brands. Please note that. And be sure to copy and paste the link of their website or Instagram. If they have an Instagram and a portfolio site, post both of those links, because a lot of times we can learn more about them by going directly to their website. We need a link to where we can view their work, okay? Post your findings to the comments below. So you can start here, say my designer of the week is blank, and then you can go on and talk about why you chose them, who their professional backgrounds, and then you can say link to their work and paste the link here, okay? So you will post that, you'll add the comment, and you are done with your designer of the week once you have done that. And designer of the week is due before you come to class that day, because so whichever day it says it's due, just make sure that it's posted before you walk into class. All right, so that is designer of the week.